We live in the golden age of happiness. It is an obsession, an industry, a modern religion. The pursuit of happiness is no longer just a right, it has become a duty. We are bombarded with 1,000 commandments on how to achieve it. Think positive, practice gratitude, buy this product, achieve this goal. Our social media feeds are a curated museum of smiling faces and perfect moments, a constant reminder of a blissful state that always seems just out of our reach. We chase it, we hunt it, we measure our lives by its presence or absence. And yet, a strange and tragic paradox lies at the heart of our modern world. In an era more dedicated to the pursuit of happiness than any other in history, we are more anxious, more depressed, and more medicated than ever before. Why? What is this fatal flaw in our grand project of happiness? What if the very map we are using is leading us deeper into the wilderness of our own misery? The psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor, Viktor Frankl, a man who witnessed the deepest shadows of human existence, came to a startling and revolutionary conclusion. He saw that the relentless pursuit of happiness is not the path to well-being, but a direct path to existential despair. He discovered that our modern conception of happiness is built upon a foundation of 3 profound and pervasive lies. 3 lies that we have been taught to believe are truths. 3 lies that actively keep us miserable while promising the opposite. Today, we will not learn a new secret to happiness. Today, we will perform a sacred act of demolition. We will unmask these 3 lies, and in doing so, we will clear the rubble to make space for something far more resilient, far more authentic, and far more powerful, a life of deep and abiding meaning. If you are tired of the exhausting chase, if you have a nagging feeling that the happiness you are searching for is a mirage, then you are in the right place. Subscribe to this channel, ring the bell, and prepare to have your entire understanding of happiness shattered, so that something true can finally be built. Before we expose the 3 great lies, we must understand the core of Frankl's insight. His entire philosophy, which he called Logotherapy, was born in the crucible of Auschwitz. There, he observed that the question, "Are you happy?" was not just irrelevant, it was absurd. In a world of absolute suffering, the pursuit of pleasure or a positive emotional state was a fantasy. Yet, he saw that even in that hell, life could have profound meaning. He saw men who, despite their suffering, exhibited a sense of inner peace and purpose that was unshakable. And he saw other men, often in better physical condition, who simply gave up and died, not from starvation, but from a loss of meaning. From this, he drew his most famous conclusion. The primary drive of a human being is not the pursuit of pleasure, but the pursuit of meaning. This is a radical departure from traditional psychology. Frankl argued that happiness, that fleeting feeling of joy and contentment, is not something we can or should pursue directly. It is, he said, a byproduct, a side effect. It is the result that naturally ensues when we are engaged in a life of meaning. It is the warmth that emanates from a fire you have built for a purpose, but you cannot get the warmth by chasing the smoke. You must focus on tending the fire. Our modern culture has made a fatal error. We have become a society of smoke chasers, and we wonder why we are so cold. The 3 lies we are about to dismantle are the very instructions that keep us chasing the smoke while ignoring the fire. Lie number 1, happiness is a destination to be reached. This is the most pervasive lie of all. It is the foundational myth of our consumerist, goal-oriented society. We are taught to see happiness as a place, a finish line at the end of a long and difficult race. I will be happy when ... I will be happy when I get the promotion. I will be happy when I find the perfect partner. I will be happy when I lose 10 pounds. I will be happy when I buy the house. We live our entire lives in the when. Our present moment becomes nothing more than a stepping stone, a means to an end, a period of suffering to be endured in the service of a future hypothetical happiness. We are perpetually living for a destination that we never actually reach. Why? Because the horizon always recedes as we approach it. The moment you get the promotion, your mind almost immediately sets a new goal, the next promotion. The moment you find a partner, new challenges and anxieties arise. The destination, the when, is a mirage in the desert of your own striving. Viktor Frankl would say that this "I will be happy when" mentality is a form of existential neurosis. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of the nature of life. Life is not a destination. It is a process. It is a journey. And meaning, the true source of joy, is not found at the end of the road. It is found in the quality of your footsteps along the way. By constantly focusing on a future destination, you are rendering the journey itself, your actual, present moment life, meaningless. You are sacrificing the reality of your present for the fantasy of your future, and this is a recipe for profound misery. You become a ghost in your own life, always waiting for the real life to begin, without realizing that this, right here, right now, is it. The goosebumps you feel are the recognition of this painful truth. How many years have you already sacrificed on the altar of when? How much of your one precious life has been spent waiting in a departure lounge for a flight that never takes off? The antidote to this lie is not to abandon goals. Goals are important. They provide direction. The antidote is a radical shift in focus. Frankl would urge us to stop asking, "What do I want to achieve?" and to start asking, "How do I want to live?" The focus must shift from the destination to the journey, from the outcome to the process. You must learn to find meaning not in the arrival, but in the act of traveling well. This means finding meaning in the work itself, not just in the paycheck. It means finding meaning in the daily, imperfect moments of a relationship, not just in the fantasy of a perfect partner. It is the practice of imbuing the present moment with your full attention, with your full presence, with a sense of purpose. When you are fully engaged in the how of your life, the when of happiness becomes irrelevant. You are no longer chasing the warmth of the smoke, because you are engrossed in the sacred and meaningful act of tending the fire, right here, right now. The joy is not in the destination. The joy is in the quality of your being on the path. Lie number 2, happiness is the absence of suffering. The second great lie is the belief that a happy life is a life free from pain, from struggle, from difficulty. Our culture pathologizes suffering. We see it as a sign that something is wrong. We are taught that if we are feeling sad, anxious, or heartbroken, we are failing at the game of life. We believe that the ideal state is a placid, tranquil, and perpetual state of comfort. And so, we spend our lives in a state of frantic avoidance. We avoid difficult conversations. We avoid taking risks. We avoid our own painful emotions. We do everything in our power to construct a life that is a perfectly curated, comfortable, and conflict-free zone. But Frankl, a man who lived through the epitome of suffering, would tell us that this is not a path to happiness. It is a path to a shallow, fragile, and ultimately meaningless existence. A life without suffering is a life without depth. It is a life without growth. It is a life without the very experiences that forge character, that build resilience, and that create the capacity for profound joy. A world without shadows is a world without light. You cannot appreciate the warmth of the fire if you have never known the cold. You cannot experience the profound joy of connection if you have never known the pain of loneliness. Frankl argued that suffering is not an obstacle to meaning. It is often the very raw material of meaning. It is in our darkest moments that we are given the greatest opportunity to discover our deepest strengths. It is the unavoidable suffering of life that challenges us, as he said, to change ourselves. The goosebumps you feel are the recognition of a courageous truth. Your greatest moments of growth and the discovery of your deepest purpose will almost certainly emerge from your moments of greatest pain. The lie that happiness is the absence of suffering makes us cowards. It makes us run from the very experiences that hold the key to our own transformation. We are so afraid of the dragon that we never enter the cave, and so we never find the treasure. The antidote to this lie is not to seek out suffering, but to change our relationship to it. It is to stop seeing suffering as a sign of failure and to start seeing it as an inevitable and meaningful part of the human journey. It is to cultivate what Frankl called tragic optimism, the ability to remain optimistic in spite of the tragic triad of human existence: pain, guilt, and death. It is the understanding that your life can be deeply meaningful, not despite your suffering, but sometimes because of it. When you are faced with unavoidable pain, you must stop asking, How can I escape this? And start asking the great question of logotherapy. What is this suffering asking of me? What meaning can I create from this? How can I use this to become a better, wiser, more compassionate human being? This question transforms you from a victim of your pain into a student of it. It turns a tragedy into a triumph. The deepest and most resilient form of well-being is not the shallow happiness of a life without problems. It is the profound sense of meaning that comes from having faced your problems with courage and with grace. Lie number 3. Happiness is something you deserve. This is the most subtle and modern of the 3 lies. It is the lie of entitlement. Our culture has instilled in us the belief that happiness is our default state, our birthright. You deserve to be happy. This sounds empowering, but it is psychologically poisonous. Why? Because if you believe happiness is something you deserve, something that should be given to you simply because you exist, what happens when you are not happy? You become angry. You feel cheated. You feel that the universe has made a mistake and is unfairly withholding from you what is rightfully yours. This sense of entitlement creates a perpetual state of resentment and complaint. You become a critic of your own life, constantly finding fault with a reality that fails to live up to your entitled expectations. You become a person who's constantly asking, why isn't life giving me what I deserve? Viktor Frankl would be horrified by this perspective. His entire philosophy is built on the opposite premise. The central question of a meaningful life is not, what do I expect from life, but rather, what does life expect from me? This is a 180-degree shift in orientation. It moves you from a state of childish entitlement to a state of adult responsibility. Life does not owe you happiness. Life does not owe you anything. Life presents you with a series of circumstances, a set of questions, a unique and unrepeatable task. And your meaning, your purpose, and ultimately your joy is found in your response to that task. Your life is not a buffet where you get to pick and choose what you deserve. Your life is a mission. You have been assigned a post, and your job is to fulfill that assignment with courage and with love. The goosebumps you feel are the thrill of this immense responsibility. The idea that you are not here to be served, but to serve. Not to receive, but to give. This is the ultimate antidote to the lie of entitlement. You stop looking at your life in terms of what you are getting, and you start looking at it in terms of what you are giving. Frankl identified 3 primary ways we can give to life, the 3 great paths to meaning. First, through the work we create, the deeds we do. Second, through the love we give, the people we care for. And third, through the courage we show in the face of our own suffering. Notice that none of these are about getting happiness. They are all about creating meaning. And the great secret is that when you dedicate yourself to this life of meaning, of service, of responsibility, a strange and beautiful thing happens. Happiness, the very thing you were told you deserved but could never find, shows up. It arrives not as a prize you have earned, but as an unexpected guest, a byproduct of a life well lived. It comes to you when you are no longer looking for it. It finds you when you are lost in the meaningful task of serving something greater than your own small, needy ego. So, let us dismantle these 3 great lies once and for all. Lie number 1, happiness is a destination. The truth, meaning is found in the journey, not the arrival. Lie number 2, happiness is the absence of suffering. The truth, meaning is often forged in the very fire of our suffering. And lie number 3, happiness is something you deserve. The truth, joy is the byproduct of a life dedicated to the responsibilities of meaning. When you liberate yourself from these 3 lies, you are free. You are free from the exhausting, endless chase. You are free from the terror of pain. You are free from the bitterness of entitlement. And in that freedom, you can begin the real work. The work of building a life that is not necessarily always happy in the shallow, modern sense of the word, but a life that is deep, a life that is resilient, a life that is rich with purpose, a life that, when you look back on it from your final days, you can say, not, I was happy, but something far more profound. It had meaning. I want you to take an honest inventory of your own beliefs. Which of these 3 lies has had the strongest grip on your life? Have you been living for a future? When? Have you been running from the necessary struggles of your own growth? Have you been waiting for the world to give you what you feel you are owed? Acknowledging the lie is the first step toward living in the truth. If this has shattered a false foundation and given you the plans for a stronger one, then I invite you to join our construction crew. Like this video to help demolish these lies for others. Subscribe to the Meaning Project to continue building a life of profound substance. And be sure to ring the bell. The truth will set you free, but first, it will make you question everything. Now, for our shared work. In the comments below, I want you to share which of the 3 lies: number 1, the destination; number A, the absence of suffering; or number 3, the entitlement, has been the biggest trap in your own life. Let's create a space of honest reflection and collective liberation. Remember Viktor Frankl's ultimate secret. Don't aim at success. The more you aim at it and make it a target, the more you are going to miss it. For success, like happiness, cannot be pursued. It must ensue, and it only does so as the unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself. Stop chasing happiness, start building meaning, and happiness will find you.